Hey everyone, I am Deep Singh and in today's video we are diving into something you probably use every single day without ever thinking about what's happening behind the scenes. You open a tab, type a few words, hit enter, and just like that, you have your answer. It feels instant, it feels effortless. But what's actually happening behind that simple search bar is one of the most complex engineering systems ever built by humans. So today, let's pull back the curtain and understand how does Google search really work. Let's start with a number that would honestly blow your mind. Every single Google search, from the moment you hit enter to the moment results appear on your screen, takes less than half a second. In that tiny window of time, Google is scanning through its knowledge of entire internet, ranking billions of possible answers and assembling a custom results page just for you. And it's not doing this once in a while. Google processes approximately 8.5 billion searches every single day. That's roughly 99,000 searches per second. And here's a fun fact, about 15% of those daily searches and queries Google has literally never seen before. So it's not just looking things up, it's constantly figuring out brand new questions in real time. So that brings us to the big question. How does Google actually search through billions of web pages in the blink of an eye? The answer isn't one single trick. It's a pipeline, a carefully designed three-stage system that works together seamlessly. First, Google has to discover and read web pages. Then it has organize and understand them. And finally, when you search, it has to pick the best ones and deliver them to you. All in under half a second. Let's walk through each stage. So that brings us to the chapter 1, the impossible library. Before Google can answer any question, it needs to know what's out there on the internet. Think of the entire web as the world's most chaotic library. Billions of pages constantly being added, edited, and deleted. Google's job is to read every single one and keep an organized catalog. So, how does it pull that off? It does it in two steps, crawling and indexing. Step 1 is crawling. Google uses automated programs uh, that are called Googlebot. Think of them as tireless digital explorers that roam the internet 24/7. They start at known web pages, read the content, and then follow every link on the page to discover new ones. It's like a chain reaction. One page loads to 10 more, those 10 lead to 100 more, and on across entire the web. But Googlebot is smart about it. It uses something called a crawl budget, prioritizing popular, frequently updated sites over smaller and rarely changing ones. A major news site might get crawled multiple times per hour. A personal blog, maybe once every few weeks. Step 2 is indexing, which is where the real magic begins. After Googlebot reads a page, Google processes it, extracts the text, understands what it's about, and files it away in a massive organized catalog. And this visual really captures it. On the left, that's the live internet, a tangled, chaotic mess of billions of pages constantly changing, with no structure whatsoever. On the right, that's the Google index. Every page neatly processed, categorized, and stored, ready to be retrieved in milliseconds. Google is essentially taking the messiest library in existence and turning it into the most organized one. But how exactly does Google organize all this? The secret is something called an inverted index. In a normal book index, you look up a topic and it tells you which page mentions it. Google does the same thing but for the entire internet. Instead of storing page A contain these words, Google flips it around. It stores, For example, the word climate appear on these 50 million pages. Here's exactly where on each page, whether it's in title, a heading, or the body text. This is the key to speed. When you search, Google isn't reading through billions of pages. It's looking up pre-organized entries, almost like checking a dictionary. That's how it's so fast. And the scale of this index is staggering. Google's catalog contains over 100 petabytes of data. To put that in perspective, 1 petabyte is a millions gigabytes. So we are talking about more than 100 million gigabytes of organized web knowledge spread across over 40 data centers worldwide, connected by subsea cables spanning entire oceans. And it's updated continuously. New content can appear in search results within minutes of being published. Now comes the chapter 2, and honestly, this is the most fascinating part. Google has found your pages, it's organized them. But when you search for something and there are millions of matching results, how does Google decide which ones go at the top? That's the secret sauce. That's where ranking comes in. It all started in 1998 with two PhD students at Stanford, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Working out of a dorm room, they come up with a revolutionary idea called PageRank, a clever pun on Larry Page's last name. Yeah. The concept was beautifully simple. They thought, what if we treat links between web pages like votes? If a page gets linked to by many other pages, it's probably important, and if gets linked to by pages that are themselves important, it's really important. It's the same logic as academic citations. A research paper cited by hundreds of other papers is probably significant. This one idea, treating the web as a network of votes, is what made Google dramatically better than every other search engine at that time. And while Google today uses hundreds of ranking signals, the core philosophy of PageRank still lives on. But modern Google ranking goes way beyond just counting links. Today, Google evaluates hundreds of signals and fall into four big categories. So, these categories are: first, the content quality. Google uses a framework called EEAT, that is experiment that is experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Basically, who wrote this content? Do they know what they are talking about? And can you trust it? For sensitive topics like health or finance, these standards are extremely strict. Second is mobile friendliness. Since 2024, Google exclusively crawls and ranks based on the mobile version of your site. If it doesn't work well on a phone, you are losing ranks. Third is the trust and security. Pages using HTTPS with transparent authorship and no spammy behavior get an edge. And the fourth, relevance to you personally. Your location, language, and even the device you are searching from all influence what you see. But the biggest transformation in how Google ranks results has been the rise of artificial intelligence, and this timeline tells the story. In 1998, it was PageRank, simple link based voting. In 2015, Google introduced RankBrain, its first AI system. RankBrain could understand queries Google had never seen before by converting words into mathematical patterns and finding conceptual matches. Then in 2019, BERT arrived, and this was a game changer. BERT is a deep learning model that understands the full context of every word in a sentence. For example, in the search, you type basically parking on a hill with no curb. BERT understands that no in this sentence completely changes what you need. Before BERT, Google might have ignored the word entirely. And now in 2024, or tw- and the latest 2024, Google has integrated Gemini, its most powerful AI model, directly into the search. Gemini doesn't just match your query to pages, it can understand text, images, and even video. It can reason across multiple languages and it powers something entirely new, which we'll get to it in a moment. Now comes the chapter 3, more than blue links. Because if you have used Google recently, you know the results page isn't just a list of websites anymore. It's become something much richer. Take featured snippets, that answer box that appear right at the top of results. Google reads through web pages, extract the passage that best answers your question and displays it directly before you even click anything. It might be a paragraph, a numbered list, or a table. About 12 to 15% of all searches now trigger a featured snippet. And notice that yellow highlighted result at the top. That's Google saying, I think this is exactly what you need. Below it, the blue results are still there. But Google is increasingly trying to answer your questions right on the results page itself. Then there's the knowledge graph. Google's massive database of real world facts. It contains over 500 billion facts, about 5 billion entries. People, places, companies, movies, you name it, and it's there. When you search for a famous person or a city, that info panel you see on the side, that's the knowledge graph at work, pulling together data from Wikipedia, official websites, and structured data across the web. And results are personalized too. Search football in America, you will get NFL results. Search the exact same word in England, you will get Premier League. Your location, your language, your search history, they all shape what Google shows you. And then there's the business side. At the very top of many searches, you will see sponsored results. Those are ads. Advertisers bid on keywords through Google Ads, and their placement is determined by the combination of how much they bid and quality of their ad and landing page. It's not just about money. A highly relevant ad with a lower bid can overrank a less relevant one with a higher bid. Below the ads, the you get organic results, the ones Google's algorithm chose purely on merit. Google earned roughly $175 billion from search ads in 2024 alone. So while the organic results are unbiased, the ads that sit above them are what fund the entire operation. Chapter 4, the AI powered future. Everything we have talked about so far, crawling, indexing, ranking, serving results, that system was worked for over 25 years. But right now, Google search is going through its biggest transformation since PageRank, and it's all because of generative AI. Starting in 2024, Google rolled out AI overviews powered by its Gemini AI model. Here's how they work. When you ask a complex question, Google doesn't just find matching pages anymore. It reads multiple sources, synthesizes the information, and writes you a multi paragraph summary, complete with citations to the original website. So instead of giving you 10 links and saying go find your answer, Google is now saying here's the answer and here's where I got it from. It's a fundamental shift from being a search engine to being an answer engine. AI overviews now serve over a billion users worldwide. And this comparison captures the shift perfectly. On the left, the traditional search. You ask a question, Google hands you a pile of documents and you dig through them yourself. It's powerful, but the work of finding the actual answer is still on you. On the right, AI overviews. You ask a question and an AI assistant reads everything for you, pulls out the key information and hands you a synthesized answer on a silver platter. It's faster, it's more convenient, but it also raises a really important question. If Google's AI can just read websites and give users the answer directly, what happens to the websites that created the information in the first place? Think about it. Content creators, journalists, bloggers, researchers, small businesses, they spend hours creating the information that Google's AI summarizes. But if users get their answers without ever clicking through to those sites, those creators lose traffic, lose ad revenue, and eventually lose the incentive to create content at all. And if they stop creating, what does Google's AI have left to summarize? It's a genuine paradox, and it's one of the biggest questions facing the internet right now. Add to that a landmark 2024 antitrust ruling that found Google maintains an illegal monopoly in search, and new competitors like ChatGPT and Perplexity, reimagining what search can even be. And you realize we are standing at a genuine turning point. Now, what started in 1998 with two grad students, a garbage, and a server built from Lego blocks has become a system that processes 99,000 queries every second, powered by AI. That powered by AI that can understand human language as well as we can. The next big thing is here. Thanks for watching. See you.